to another week of the Green Room JBay Off the Lip speaker session. We are super excited to have Cronje and Hannah with us with JBay Fin Design, and we thought that with the Green Room being an ocean-orientated co-working space and definitely entrepreneurs at heart, we have thought that it would be great to have Hannah and Cronje speak a bit about their story of JBay Fin Design, obviously being an ocean-related company, and just share a bit about their story and how the business started and how that grew and started from JBay, which is awesome. And Hannah, thanks so much again for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you everyone for having us. Much appreciated. So I'm Cronje, this is my wife Hannah, and we've got our little boy sitting there in the back in the blue, that's Liam. So we are JBay Fin Design, and our little story actually starts in a little town called Lefekani on the edge of the Magadiepans in Botswana, where I used to be an adventure guide, self-drive tours, and Hannah was an occupational therapist in the USA, in California. So we did a bit of long-distance relationships, or just one relationship. So we did that for a couple of years, until we decided to rather come and establish ourselves here in Jeffreys Bay. It was Hannah's childhood hometown, and I remember in 2020, I was called to do a couple of tours for 7 weeks in the Kalahari. So when I came back, it was about 3 days later, it was a Thursday evening, and Uncle Cyril Ramaphosa announced lockdown. So I immediately lost my job, borders were closed, and we were sitting at home, tumbling my thumbs, didn't know what to do. And then luckily my good wife Hannah took over.
Well, firstly, Cronje, the handyman that he is, he started to fix everything in the house, and then we all proceeded to break everything again, and we fixed it again, and at that point I was like, okay, this is enough. I need to sort this guy out, I need to get him out of my hair. So I've never actually met Tace from Rebel Surfboards, but I didn't even tell Cronje I was going, I just went there. I walked, I'm like, where's Tace? So I pointed to some blue painted room, I'm like, Tace, my name is Hannah, my husband is really good with his hands, I should know. Do you have a job for him, please? And he was like, well, let him give me a call. So he did.
Yeah, so I started with Tace, I did some ding repairs and he kept me busy, and then after a couple of weeks he put me through the test, and he came with a fiberglass fin that he's cut out of a panel, and he asked me, can you shape a fin? I said, well, I've never in my life done that, but I can give it a go, let's try. So I started shaping this fin, or foiling the fin as I would say, and with the help of Stefan, his glasser there, I shaped this fin, and at the end of the day I showed him the fin, and I don't know, those of you who knows Tace, he's got a special way of talking, and he's like, sure, my bro. And he looked at it at all angles, he's like, no man, you've done this before. No, I haven't, it's my first time. So, well, if this is your first time, you need to go home and do something about this, because you've got a talent. So go home and maybe start doing fins. So I went home and I told Hannah, like, geez, I got a good compliment today. Maybe we should try and make fins, because we don't have anything else to do. It's lockdown, so yeah. So that's how it all started. And then with Hannah's creative mind, she also had an input within the business. And
so Cronje started practicing making panels, and it was not easy. There was lots of words that came from the backyard that I didn't necessarily want Liam to hear. And you can't go on YouTube and research how to make panels. It's very much a secret. But I thought, how can we make, because there's fins everywhere, right? How do we make this thing special? And the only thing that popped into my head was, we're in JBay. This is the surfing capital of Africa. We have to bring JBay into this thing. And it was the aloe. I wanted to put an aloe on the fin, but how on earth do you put an aloe on a fin? I don't know how to put an aloe on the fin. Lots of trial and error. Eventually, we get it right. Now we start making fins, and we just, we give fins to our friends. one of our friends that we give a fin to is Tazius, you guys probably know him. And he just ordered a board from Matt Surfboards in Cape Town. Beautiful, burnt orange, yellow colors, like perfect for aloe. And one Saturday morning I said to Tazius, come, you're my model. We're going to take some photos on the beach with you and your fin and everything, and we did. And unbeknownst to us, he sent photos to Matt in Cape Town. That Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Ding, 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 ding. 1 times 6.5, 2 times 7, 3 times 9.5. How much is it? I don't know how much it is. Matt Surfboards just put an order. I had no idea. So this whole thing started by really our clients propelling us forward. It was never us pushing something. It was always us being driven to the next level in the next place. And then a few weeks after that, we were sitting on the beach having sundowners, and this old toppie with the beanie comes walking up to us. And I don't know who he is, very friendly like people are in JBay, starts talking to us. What do you do? No, I'm a therapist. Cronje, I'm an adventure guide, tour guide. So he goes, yeah, I shape some boards. And I think, okay, he's a backyard shaper. We're backyard fin makers. This is a good collaboration. So I nudged Cronje because he's never going to say he makes fins, right? So I'm like, just tell him what you do, man. Just tell him. So he says, yeah, I make some fins. The guy says, okay, man, I'll come by your house. Before we leave, he says, by the way, my name is Des. We nearly fell over. That was Des Sawyer. We've never met him before. That man has got integrity. 2 days later, he's there. And what did he say?
Yeah, so he arrived in our little garage where we work from. He came up to me with a template, one of Stevie Sawyer's templates, and this is a template just for me, no one else. I'm an old man. I've been in this industry a long time and I know what I want, and I'm full of shit. I want a decent fin, bottle green, but not bottle greens. Lighter than bottle greens. Can you make me one of those? I said, yeah, sure, I'll do my best. And off he went. I spent a whole day foiling his one fin. Those days it took me a whole day to do one. And I was very pedantic about this fin that I made him. And after we finished, Hannah messaged him.
I messaged Des and I thought, okay, well, he's going to drive up here any minute now, right? And the review and the judgment is going to be there. We're super nervous. No, crickets. Crickets, it took 2 weeks. 2 weeks? You know Des, right? You know. 2 weeks later, comes up there. How's it, guys? And then he takes that fin, and he looks at it from all angles, and he's just, okay, yes, let's do this thing. So we passed the test, and from there on, we've been working with Des. After that was Hugh Thompson. He can be very particular about what he wants. He's very good at giving us advice. The science of fins and all of those things. We started getting some team riders. Ludi is here. Ludi and Kurt and Magret took a chance on us early on. So thank you for that. After that came George Bunting in Cape Town, and Ferrell and Butler from Ferrell Surfboard, Spider Murphy from Safari. And it really is just a process, and we're still very much in the thick of it, and we're growing. And I can honestly say there's been many times where we felt like we should just turn around, this thing is not working. But there's a few things that we've learned along the way, and we just want to share a few tips of starting an early business like this. Yeah.
The one thing that I learned through this whole process to starting your own business is to practice and practice more. To make mistakes and learn from your mistakes, and to know that you're going to make more mistakes. And also when I go to Des Sawyer, the other day I actually arrived at his place to deliver some fins, and he had a terrible day. He told me I just made the worst mistake ever. And learn from this, Cronje, you're also going to make more mistakes. I'm like, yes, I know. So that's one thing, is to learn from your mistakes and just keep practicing.
And then the second thing that I've learned in working with customers is do what you say you're going to do. Have integrity, be respectful, have compassion, listen to what they are saying. And I think being a therapist maybe helps me in that. But it's the small things that you get taught as a child, to say thank you and please and I'm sorry. And that has taken us so far. And there's actually been a time where we promised somebody a fin at a certain time, And not only couldn't we deliver the fin in time, but we actually weren't able to do it at all for him. Now you go, oh my goodness, maybe you just ignore it, maybe he forgets, right? Or a little white lie, maybe a little white lie. And then I thought, hey, why don't we just actually tell him the truth? And we told him the truth. And you know what? That guy still orders fins from us. And people are so forgiving and so supportive if you show them who you really are and you're honest and truthful.
Yeah. Another pointer that I learned is to be humble. To like I said, you learn from your mistakes, but also to be humble and to always have a mentor, to someone to look up to. And we are fortunate enough to have all these shapers in JBay. And they're all decent people, like you, Thompson. He's got a way where he can tell you you've made a shit fin without saying the word shit. So I would give him a fin and he was like, yeah, it can be a little bit more flat here, this is not going to work. So I'll take the fin back and then you carry on and you keep practicing, you keep foiling until you get it precise. So yeah, you learn from that, and it's through humbleness, and to know that you don't know is a very important point. Yeah.
Then surround yourself with positivity. There, you can think of 1,000 reasons why we shouldn't start a fin business in the middle of lockdown in a surf town where we just move in, right? You're not exactly a local, so there's a lot of reasons why we shouldn't start this. And many people will say, oh, it's never going to work in JBay, it's not going to work, and you can get cheaper fins from China. But we just thought, this is JBay, this is hands from Africa, this is fins from JBay, and this is something special. We're going to stick with it. And we decided to surround ourselves with people that actually support us. And we've got an amazing crew. And it's not just about, when I say support, I don't mean just buying our fins. I mean friends that have sat with us through tears when we wanted to turn around. Friends that Andre bought our first set of fins. Peter, you bought us some tool in the beginning that we needed. Just the friendly faces when you get on the beach, people being supportive, and surrounding yourself with those sorts of people. That's what you need to do. A little bit about social media. I'm not going to get into it because there's tons of people here that are super experts in that, so I'm not going to get into it. I actually don't know too much about it. I don't follow any of the rules. But the one thing that I do know is that social media is a microcosm of a larger interpersonal relationship that you have with people around you. If you act like an arsehole outside, you're probably going to be an arsehole on social media also. If you're kind, you're going to be kind on social media. If you're respectful, if you've got compassion, then you're going to have it on social media also. So if somebody takes the time to read something, to write something, and they took that time out of their day to give it to you, it's nice to just go, thank you. So I would say, start by engaging with people. And when you press post, that's when it starts. That's not when it ends. That's when it starts. That's when you start communicating with people and building relationships. And appreciate the people that take the time to actually comment on your things. It's more than just a fin. So this thing is a lot deeper than just actually making a fin. And when we came up with the logo, it was super exciting in the beginning. You figure out your logo and your motto. And we came up with not just a fin, it's a feeling. But we didn't really think, surfing, right? It's a nice feeling. But sure as heck, we got a big slap in our faces last year by some of our amazing clients who taught us the real meaning of what it is. Not just a fin, it's a feeling. All of us have stories, and people come into our little garage with their own stories about love, loss, illness, and surfing means so much to them and what they get in the ocean that they want some of that etched into their surfboard and into their fins. So they say, this is the shape I want. This is the design I want. This is the colors I want because this represents something really, really special to me. And when I paddle out into the ocean and I'm one with Mother Nature, that's where I want to be. That's the feeling also that I want. So that's where that lesson came from. And then lastly, this road that we're on, we haven't made it yet, so don't think because we are standing here, we are suddenly this amazing big fin company. No, it's a rocky road, it's winding, there's lots of hills and cliffs, and we've wanted to turn around many times. But the one quote that we hang by is, the road to success and failure is the same road. Success is just a little further along. So when we feel like giving up, we go, why just try another week, okay? Put your heads down, just shuffle forward. And yeah, JBay is an amazing town. Thank you so much for your support. And as you guys also start new businesses, we hope we can support you too.
Thank you all. It's like a sander, like a big industrial sander that rotates. So yeah, we foil it, we first build our panel, then we cut it out, and then you first have to do the base with a router, so you get the right thickness. And then once you've done that, you put it in a clamp and you stand there and foil. It's a horrible job. You itch, and yeah, you put baby powder on yourself, you look like a snowman first, and then you start foiling, yes. And it's all, you read the lines. It's a bit like geography. So you get your contour lines. So you read that to get the nice foil in. Yeah, it's all handmade. Yeah, that's a good point. We have been looking at getting a CNC machine. And then Hannah actually said that will take away the authenticity of hand foiling. So what we want to do is, maybe if we do get a CNC machine, we want to focus with that only on the future basis, which takes forever to make by hand. And to do our thruster sets and our little keel sets with CNC, but then still keep the authenticity of the single fins to do that by hand. Because that, for me, I can do 9 fins in a day to foil it by hand, so that goes quite quick. So, yeah.
Your future basis takes a day to do one, so you can imagine it's not really profitable to keep doing that in a big scale. Yeah. I think it helps that I lived there for 16 years.
Okay.
And I just came back 3 years ago now. 3 years ago. I mean, I'm not going to proclaim myself as a major surfer, but I did paddle out there a little bit. But the person you're referring to is Surfer Susie, and I started a relationship with her because I really love what she stands for. She stands for Surfing for Older People. She's 74 years old.
Wow.
So that's the main reason why I follow her. And then at some point last year I thought, yes, it would be nice if she's a team rider. But my relationship with her was already established through a long time. So the reason why I reach out to her isn't because, oh, I see she's got a lot of followers, I wonder what she can do for us. It comes from an authentic, true place of, you rock, so whether you ride our fins or not, I like you. Yeah, so does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so.
Alrighty, guys.
Cool.
With that concludes our off-finish for this week. Thanks again so much to Hannah and Cronje. Really appreciate you taking the time. And we'll see you again next week.